So
it just
So we are recording, guys, and I know there's a few people that won't be able to get on this live on a Saturday morning, but we're going to start our Saturday morning trainings with one of the best that we have in the company, which is Kelsey Blake. So I'm gonna blank my screen because, as most of you know, I was celebrating way too much last night, and you certainly don't want to see my bloodshot eyes and probably hear the echo going wrong in my head. So. Let me hand over to the amazing, wonderful, painful at times, but amazing Kelsey Blake.
Right, thank you. Right, can everybody mute themselves just while I do this, because I am easily distracted. Once I've been through it, I'm gonna obviously ask you if you've got any questions or anything, and then you can unmute yourself. If anything goes off while I'm doing this, I completely lose where I am and it'll all go to crap. So if you could just mute yourself real quick for me. Perfect. Thank you. So a DMO really is, like Paul's just been saying about mastering the mundane. Eventually it took me around 6 months. So right at the beginning of 2020, I had a bit of a rough time at the end of last year, and I made it a plan to get one of these books from Angela for the start of 2020, and I was going to follow a solid DMO for 6 months, which I have. Now, once you've followed it for so long, you're going to get to a point where you're going to go into it's just going to auto. So I actually don't do the marking anymore. I did it for 6 months solid, of ticking it off every day, what I was doing, what I wasn't doing, and then the start of the next month I would go through it. I would see what I was consistent with, what I wasn't consistent with, and then I'd switch it around. And I did that for 6 months, and now I'm just on an autopilot, so I don't actually follow them anymore. But I'm going to go through mine, and I'm going to give you a point system to follow as well, because a point system, if you're somebody who likes to compete, then a point system is probably going to be good, because although it's only yourself, you're always trying to be better than what you were yesterday with yourself. It's about competing with yourself. So if you're quite competitive and you like to have that sense of, it's weird, but it's like a sense of fulfillment when you add up your points and stuff. It's a weird thing, but I'm going to give you a point system as well and go through that. So this was my book. Is absolutely battered. If you're one of these clean freaks, you're going to hate me, because like, look at my book, like it's just like everyone's just like, oh, it's just my book. So this was my point system. So these were my goals for the month, and then my point system was here. So on my DMO, we have got to, and these were every day. So these things what I put here, and then you mark them off every single day like this. So on mine, so this, you can't just have, so I get people all the time message me saying, can I write them one? And I can't really, because it has to be specific to you and it has to completely work around your life. So if you work full time, then you've obviously got less time, but you've got to condense your time down into certain things around your work life, around your children, around everything else. So nobody else can write you one, so you've got to work it out for yourself. But here is an example. So on mine, we have got sample somebody every day, get a new person in my group every day, show the biz to one person. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to get somebody join every day, because we all know that isn't going to happen, but present the biz to someone every single day. So that means either sending the opportunity video out, or getting them on Andy's live, or putting them in if you've got an op group as a team, or sending a little video from an app, just something like that, somewhere that you're showing them the business. Sign somebody up, which again isn't going to happen every single day, but if you've got this written down, you can see how consistent you've been with showing the business to people, and then how many times you sign somebody up a month as well. Self-development is in there, just like Andy says. Working on yourself is super important. It should be above all else, along with self-care. I think a lot of times when people do DMOs, they completely forget the things off that are going to give them a little buzz about themselves. So you need self-development on there, and you definitely need self-care, and you need to be doing them two things every single day, because if you don't look after yourself and if you don't pour into yourself, you're never going to be able to give the best of yourself to anybody else. So that is super important, and I need to just underline that part, because I think people think self-care, like even just like, sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes I don't even brush my hair, put my makeup on, and after a couple of days of that, I can see the women laughing like, yeah, that's me for like 3 days, like that's definitely me, it's a bit of me. Well, when you go through that for like 2 or 3 days, you start feeling really crap, don't you? You just wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, oh, like you again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you need some sort of self-care in there. So make sure you get in a shower every day, brushing your hair, you know, putting a bit of makeup on, maybe taking a few of your pictures, just making yourself feel good, because it's super important about what you put in yourself, about what you're putting out to other people too. Exercise. So for me, obviously, I used to go to the gym and stuff, but it's been closed, obviously, for the foreseeable. So it was just about just getting out in the fresh air for 20-30 minutes at a time with the dog. If you've got a dog, it's the perfect excuse just to switch off your messenger and just go for a walk. You could do your self-development and your exercise all in one. Just put your headphones in and just go for a walk around the block. Like, it's super, super important. You'll come back feeling just more charged. I can't explain it. You'll just come back to the drawing board feeling more charged, rather than just sat there the whole time. Because what I've found is when people are just sat in one place the whole time thinking that they're working, a lot of the time, because we're using social media, a lot of people just go onto the scroll. Anybody? I can only see a few people, but I'm just going to see if anybody smirks. Everyone's like, yeah, scroll. So the scroll thumb, I like to call it. So when you just sat in one place and you're not mixing it up and you're not really getting out and you're not really doing much, because you can work on the go, right? We're on an app. So if you want to send a sample while you're walking, or you want to talk to somebody about the business, or send them, you can do all that while you're walking, but you need just to get out and do a little bit for yourself as well. Get a new customer, again, that isn't going to happen every day, but if you're marking these things down, you can definitely see how consistent you've been with it, and it will come in from how many samples you've sent. If you've sent a sample every single day, and then you look at your conversion rates, obviously, which I'm not going to get into on this video, but if you look at your conversion rates, if let's say you sent 31 paid samples this month, and your conversion rate's 25, then you know that you're going to guarantee 25% of those samples are going to turn into customers, right? Obviously, I'm not going to get into that because I'm going into a whole different training. I can do that another week. But yeah, so new customer there. Old customer, so how many times it depends how many customers you've got again, but are you keeping in touch with your old customers who've turned to retail, or have some of them switched off the monthly for now because they're skipping? Like, do you keep in touch with them people? If you do, then that should show in your old customers coming back and ordering a product. That doesn't mean monthly customers. So monthly customers, I've also got a box for those, and I try and get a monthly customer rolling through every single day of the month. I think I've got one day of the month so far, which was, I think it was the 12th, where I had no monthlies, and I was raging. I was like, no, because that ruined my whole thing. But I try and get it so that I've got a monthly tick on every single one of them, so I know that I've always got a monthly going through, and then if I haven't, I will replace it. A referral, so that's down there because I like to ask for referrals every day, like every single day, whether it be somebody who likes the sample, somebody who likes the product, somebody who came through from a referral, and then I will ask them for referrals, whether that's adding to your group, sending your sample link across, buying a product, sending your link to your actual Facebook so you can speak to those people too. Any sort of referral is a good referral. Prospecting somebody, which again is like showing the business, but it's actually speaking to them one-on-one as well. So getting them off whatever platform you found them on, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know what other people use. I literally don't really use anything else, but taking them off that platform and getting them on a phone call, like turning them into an actual prospect. Just because they've said they're interested in the business and maybe you sent them a video, that doesn't make them your prospect. You need to have like a little relationship there, because they could go find somebody completely different, really click with them because they've done exactly what I've just said, and then they'll go join with them. So you need to actually make them into your prospect. So I've got that on there. Message new people on Facebook. Doesn't necessarily have to be, will you buy my product, will you join my group, or whatever. Just messaging new people so that you're opening and you're expanding your reach on your social media. Go live every single day. Again, it doesn't have to be on your Facebook. You can go live on your story for like 1 minute a day, like 60 seconds a day. It will just open up your reach so much on your story, because people click on stories all the time. You'll notice if I put a post on my actual Facebook, I can't see how many people have seen that post, but if you go put the same post on your story, you'll actually see how many people have seen it. And sometimes on my story, it can be 1,000 people have looked at my story. So like, stories are super, super important, so do not miss out on them. Training, which can be any type of training with your team. A 3-way call, which is obviously helping your team help them get their people involved. Instagram, I put Instagram and LinkedIn down because I am not consistent with Instagram and LinkedIn at all, because I'm good at the Facebook. I find it hard to keep consistent with 2 or 3 platforms. You might be really good at that, so that would be at the bottom of yours, because if you're really good at it, there's no point in it being at the top. Daily call, which is Pat's call, be consistent at getting on that. If you're not consistent at getting on that, make sure you put that on here, because it will, if you're competitive with yourself and you want that tick for the day, you will get on the call. Following up a story and a group post. So that used to be man, like this. Now, if I was more consistent at, for some reason, I used to be super non-consistent at doing self-development. And it was at a point as well when I probably needed the self-development more. So the things that you're least consistent with, you're going to put them at the top of your list, and you're going to make your own point system. So let's say you never get on the daily call, but you always think, I'm going to get on it, but then it gets to it and you're like, oh crap, I'm in Morrison's, or I'm here and I forgot my headphones, or whatever it is. You put that right at the top of your list with like 100 points for that day. Because if you miss that day, you're going to lose 100 points on your DMO. Nobody wants that. I've done the point system and it's crap. If you lose something, it is crappy and you'll feel bad, and you don't want that. So anything that you're not consistent with, put that at the top. If you're not consistent with messaging new people, if you're not consistent with prospecting new people, they need to all be at the top with the most points. The things that you're most consistent with. So if you're really easily getting a new person into your group, sending a sample, getting a new customer, they need to be at the bottom with like 5 points, because you know you're going to get them anyway. You need to really challenge yourself and put them ones at the top. I'm just looking at my notes. Hang on. Yeah, so the consistency factor is definitely going to be key. So I did this January, February, March, April, May and June, and now this month I've just noticed myself, so I'll show you, man. This month I didn't even start it, because where the hell is it? It might have fallen off, to be fair. Yeah, it's probably fallen off. Yeah, it's fallen out of the book. No, it hasn't. Okay, so it's here. So as you can see there's no points on it, nothing at all, because I'm just completely on autopilot. So I've wrote out my goals that I want for the team and for myself, because I'm still going to hit my goals. But because I've been doing it for so long, I automatically go and do the points that I've been training myself to do. It's like a brain training thing. Once you've got to a point where you're just doing it automatically, you won't need to do that anymore. It's just why you get used to it. And it's just a really easy way to try and explain to your downlines as well, because I didn't actually know what a DMO was up until maybe a year and a half ago. Somebody said to me, have you got a DMO? Do you follow one? And I was like, what is that? Like, somebody tell me what that is. Like, I don't know what that is. Explain it to me. And once they explained it to me and I started using it, at first, you'll probably be on and off with it. So you might write it out and be like, yeah, and then you'll be a bit inconsistent, but please just try your hardest and your best to try and stay consistent at it, because all the things what I've wrote down there are like income generating activities. So the more that you do them and the more that you get consistent with doing the same actions over and over and over again, your brain will automatically help you do them. So the first thing I do in the morning at the moment is I'll wake up, I'll do my group post, I'll update my story, I'll update my profile, and then I do externals usually first thing on a morning. And that's because they were at the top of my list for 6 months. So I used to wake up, sit on my book, have a look what the first few points were, and I'd tick them off why I drunk my morning coffee or had my capsule in my juice or whatever I was doing. I would go through them and tick them off. I carried this book. The reason that this book is like this is because I used to carry it like this everywhere with me. I used to just shut it in my bag. So if I was out with the kids, if I was away somewhere, like the first time I got this book, I think it was in January, because we were going to Texas, and I literally had it in my bag. I was doing it in between the events, in between the meetings. I'd go back to the room and make sure I was still doing it, and it really kept me on track while I was busy. So if you are somebody who has a super busy life, and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got 6 kids, 2 dogs, my partner works full time, I work full time, I feel like I've got 3 hours a day, if I sleep less, like if you're feeling like all of that and you're feeling really overwhelmed, the whole business is sample story sort. So if you break it down, like I've just showed you, eventually you will get the sample story sort within all of those points, which will obviously bring you the income that you want, because you will be able to convert the customers, you will be able to convert the people, and then you'll be able to also look back over the months and track where you were most consistent, and then you'll be able to see where you are in 6 months' time to see if that has helped you, and if it hasn't, then you readjust it again. So I was readjusting that every single month, until I got better at recruitment, because I've always been really good at getting customers. But I wanted to up my recruitment, which means I needed to present the business more. I needed to invite people to the lives more. I needed to put people at the off group more, use my link tree more, opportunity samples more, and actually talk about the business more. I think because people feel like it's like a mindset thing, because we have such good products and we get such good results, we really do feel like we're going out and giving it as a gift. So you find that really easy to do. You're like, yes, gift giving, sharing the love, like, let me get the product in your hand, and you love doing it. Then when it comes to the business, you feel like you're taking somebody from something from somebody, because you're taking a $29.99 fee. Now, if any of you haven't realised yet, this is like a little bit of other training, but I'm sorry, I've got to do it now because I've already started. The product actually costs more than the opportunity. Yeah, everybody realises that, right? So the product could cost up to 50 quid, where the opportunity could cost 30 quid. Now, the 30 quid could generate them income every single month, but the product does not. But you feel like you're giving more of a gift to give them a pot of coffee than you are to give them the business. And that's a mindset thing. And you need to break it down and look at what the business has brought to you. Has it been a gift to you? If it has been a gift to you, and has it helped you get through the bad times? Has it generated you an income? Has it been like a surplus to your full time? Whatever it has helped you do, you need to zone into that part of it, and then look at the way that you are giving the opportunity and the way that you are presenting the opportunity to people, so that it's more of a gift than the product. And then that way you are going to start to bring in more people, because it's definitely the way that you are looking at it, and then you present it to other people. Does that make sense? Right, does anybody want to unmute themselves and ask any questions? I'm sorry that I'm a gob crap.
Yeah, I've got one question, Kelsey.
Right, who's that, please? I'm going to scroll so I can see you.
It's Jonathan.
Hello.
Hi. Someone who's not used to doing lives, the lives can be about anything. Just basically get yourself used to doing it. So it could be you going out for a bike ride or just anything, just to get yourself out there doing something to get engagement.
Yeah, so I always say, if in my downlines, if they're not comfortable with doing lives, if they've got a small customer group, I tell them to start there, and then also try it on your story, because it's like literally 60 minutes. So you can just talk about anything for 60 minutes. That's a lie. That was a lie. 60 seconds. Yeah, it's a good job, isn't it? I haven't even had a drink, look. 60 seconds where you can just talk about anything, talk about the product and how it's helped you, and would they like a sample, and then you can just drop a poll underneath your video as well to make it interactive. And I always tell people to start there first, because I feel like it's a bit daunting at times to go actually live on your Facebook if you're not used to it.
Okay, that's cool. Cheers.
Okay. Has anybody else got any questions?
I jumped on too late.
Who's this? I can't see. I'm on my phone.
Sabrina.
Hello. Well, it's recorded, Sabrina. So as soon as Paul gives me, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Kelsey, I really appreciate you doing that. Obviously, we're not closing it just at this moment in time, but and obviously, if there is any other questions that people have got, then without a doubt, please shout up now. But guys, you're learning from the best, certainly one of the best, if not the best that we've got in the UK, and it's so important to, the DMO, I think, is probably, like Kelsey said, up until what did you say, 18 months ago or something, you didn't even know what a DMO was. And I don't think any of us did, really. We were all just winging it. We were just, walking through, doing our own thing. But the simple fact is, if you chart it, if you can measure it, you can, you can make sure that it's happening. And I know, I will find the link again. Sorry, but I know, is it Angelina? What the girl that?
Angelia.
Yeah. Well, so if anybody wants one of those books, I'm gonna arrange to get a deal done with Angelina, so that we make it very, very cost effective, shall we say, for anybody that wants one. So anybody that wants one, please drop myself or Kelsey a line, and we'll make sure that we get that at a very, very, very discounted price.
It does look better than mine. I'm just going to put that out there. If everybody's looking at it thinking, I don't want that heap of shit, that's because that's my book. I've just carried it everywhere with me like it's disgraceful. They do actually come really nice.
But that's
not really good advertisement.
DMO.
that's testimony to you. If it was a nice, you know, flat, you know, if it wasn't dog-eared like yours is, then basically people are just putting it on the shelf, aren't they? And you want to make sure that people are actually using them. And obviously, you is that you're like through the washing machine, which is great.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the recording, just so that we have got this, and I'll make sure that we get it out to everybody that hasn't been able to jump in. So thank everyone for jumping on, very much appreciated. And again, we're going to be doing these every Saturday mornings with different leaders throughout.
If you, I don't know who's doing it for the next few weeks, but if you want me to do my follow-up one, which I nearly went into because I'm gobby, I can do my full follow-up one when you next want me.
Perfect. We'll make sure that does happen. Thank you, Kelsey.
Okie dokie.
Let me stop that.